Oops. So, oh, and we're back. So I got finished with one side. This is going to be the right side, and I'm putting in diodes now, right? So this one has all the diodes now. All right. Yeah, I think everything should be fine for this one. All right, I should be wearing a mask. Well, I guess just in a bit. Yeah. Just some random mask. Okay. Yeah, this looks fine. Of course, I guess you can see the burn marks over here. But yeah, time to do the left side. So this way. So as suggested by the manual, we should put some on one side first. Of course, don't forget the actual diodes. So it's been 2 hours, or I guess, since I've started doing this. I haven't done anything off stream, so basically this should also take 2 hours. Hopefully just 2 hours, or hopefully even faster, but the diodes are just, yeah, such a pain. But yeah, let's see, turn off the iron. I'm missing something? No? Yeah. Soldering stuff. So, just confirming the manual. Alright, just to double check again. There's a mark on the diode. The dot should be aligned with the diode line. So is it the anode, the cathode? I don't know. I really should understand it, but the manual's pretty clear, so yeah. Yeah, let's do this first. Yeah, let's add this is going to be the top side. is the bottom side, which you put the diodes into. So this should just start. Actually, let me put on my headlamp. So, yeah. So I don't have really good lighting here, but it's just better to have, like, there's nothing bad with more light. You have a lamp, but yeah, the more, the better. So let's just get into it. So yeah, I've actually talked to a friend of mine that's familiar with these things, keyboard making stuff. I asked him if I needed a multimeter, and he didn't really say yes or no. He just said he has a multimeter. So it's not quite an answer, but yeah, so I got myself a multimeter. I mean, I ordered it, of course. Who has the time to go outside? And Amazon just delivers it pretty quickly. I think I'll get it tomorrow. I think I got it for overnight shipping too. So it should be arriving like in the morning. Yeah, I've also been playing around with like the OBS a bit. I mean, still don't know what I'm doing really, but yeah, the audio from yesterday was bad, was so loud. Now I kind of tested it a bit. Hopefully it's not so loud and my voice comes out clearly. I'm pretty sure there are tricks to it, but who's got the time for that? I'll figure it out someday. Yeah, I'll learn as I go along. Like, it would have been useful, like, to find, oh yeah, set your levels to this and it'll sound great, but like, if it's not in the first 5 Google results, Yeah, yeah, kind of just like, I'll just figure it out. I did watch a video about audio stuff. Did it help? Not really. They had like, I mean, the video said it was for beginners, but yeah, the desktop audio is the audio coming from the desktop. Yeah, of course, I got that. But yeah, well, the guy did say something about keeping the audio level like right below the yellow. So, I mean, I knew that, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, green is good, yellow is a little bad, red is really bad. So, I think I got those. That I got those just from the design standard, I guess. But the video was aimed at absolute beginners or just beginners, so I guess not everyone would know. Green, good, yellow, not bad, but not good, and red is bad. So, I mean, who wouldn't know that though? Like, green light, red light. There is no yellow light in that children's game, but still. I think I'm doing pretty well. Okay, yeah, let's not jinx it. So I was having dinner too, like earlier with like my some managers from work. And one of them mentioned that something about recording his voice or something. Yeah, we were talking about doing interviews, right? Because I'm usually part of those interviews. And yeah, I mentioned it being a little awkward, something like that. Because he thinks hearing his voice recorded is weird. I thought it was just me. I never liked my voice. It's a little weird. Yeah, it's a little weird, I think, my voice. Like when I was a child, I recorded my voice the first time. I was like, what? I sound like this? I thought it was just like an audio issue. Like, the mic wasn't that good, or the earphones I was using wasn't that good. But when I heard myself speak, it sounded different. It sounded different from how I hear myself, like the recorded one. So, I don't know. Yeah, it felt weird for me. Like even now, like I was testing the audio earlier. Like actually, I was watching, or well, not really watching, but I skimmed the video, right? Like from the previous stream, just to check. Like, yeah, found out that the background music was too loud. So yeah, I mean, I had to hear my voice, right? So it does kind of feel like it's awkward hearing yourself sounding different. Maybe it's just me. Something's wrong with my ears, maybe. Like my ear canal. Because just the way you sound kind of echoes in your skull, right? But how people hear you would be different. I didn't expect it to be that different. Oops, diodes here too. Yeah, I'm just looking for the ones with the triangles pointing to the correct orientation. If they all have. No. Yep. Yep. Okay. All right. It looks good. I wonder what you do with these scrap solder. Do you reuse it? I wonder. Maybe I can keep it there. Wipe. Okay. And then I wipe. Oh, sure you can see it. Yeah, see it. And you wipe. Oh no. No, it's fine. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. How many diodes do I need? Let's be careful about this. I still haven't ordered like extra diodes, but still, shouldn't be a problem. Although it could be delayed. Hopefully I just have enough extra. It wouldn't make sense to have this diode in other parts I think. Yeah, let's just put as much, not all of it, yeah, a bit more, maybe 5 more. Yeah, so about that interview, right? I find that I'd rather hire someone that could communicate well their ideas and their experiences rather than someone who has uh, like double the experience. That was the case earlier. Someone had double the experience, but the way they communicated wasn't very good. Like, I get that some people have, like, the way they work and the way they communicate be different, but you you would need to be working with other people, and other people would need to understand you. Yeah. So we didn't hire any of them, but if I had to pick with the two candidates from earlier, I would rather go with the other guy, the one that had less experience, but would be able to explain their ideas, voice their concerns, communicate with the rest of the team. But okay, oh, where's mine? Yep. Make sure that the line is there. Yep. Line to the dot. Yeah. Sometimes I feel bad for the people that I interview. Some of them are unqualified for the work we do, but they try anyway. I've been rejected from interviews, and hopefully I didn't leave a very bad impression on them, like some of the people I've interviewed. In fact, I may not be qualified for the work or the position they wanted, but yeah, maybe I feel bad for wasting their time if I was really bad. At least that's how I think about it. Maybe I'm just the anxious type. Is it in? I mean, yeah, I am the anxious type, but, you know. Hopefully, yeah. Like, I don't want them feeling like they wasted their time. Because some of the people I've interviewed feel like, oh, this is just a waste of time. Because, you know, as a team, you don't always just review all the CVs, the resumes, right? Goes through a whole process. And some people get through that paper filter, I guess some would call it. Like just the review of their CVs. I remembered something I had to do again. Anyway, yeah. The people I've rejected, I rejected early. Because, yeah, it's different if you have to spend like 30 minutes to an hour talking to them, or set aside 30 minutes to an hour for them. And turns out that, yeah, you wouldn't have accepted them anyway. I mean, of course, not all the resumes that I passed actually passed the interviews, but still. The ones I actually rejected, but others wanted to talk to, were mostly wastes of time, at least in my opinion. Maybe the others saw something I didn't see, but yeah. So I recently thinking about my own resume. I don't want to pad it out, but yeah, I don't want to pad it out, but I also don't want to leave out highlights. So I do get, I think, yeah, once you pass a certain amount of experience, right? Some of them are irrelevant to your current skill set, or yeah, current level, I should say. Unless you've stayed the same level for all these years, and that would be frustrating. At the very least, there should be some progress year on year, in my opinion. I'd like to have more progress, but I do these kinds of things that doesn't really contribute to my career. Yeah. People need to have hobbies. I melted another diode, I think. Ugh. Yeah, it's a bit melted. I don't know. That's why I got like the multimeter. Hopefully I can check it, but oh. Yeah, just set the camera a little bit there. It was a little far. Right? The board is still kind of blurry. It's not really focusing, but oh well. Still, the idea of playing around with small stuff. Yeah, I think progress now is a bit better. It's been what? 30 minutes? Should I connect all of it first and then just add the... No. Let's just do it. It's one diode at a time. It's fine. I might forget to put the other diode, so... Oof, I think I melted this again. And that didn't smell very nice. Actually seems fine, but yeah, the smell is a bit weird. Yeah. So I did play around with OBS, right? So I added a filter. Maybe I mentioned it earlier. Hmm. Yeah, hopefully the exhaust fan noise isn't coming through anymore. Oh. Yeah, and I hope the music isn't too loud. Some of the music from the previous stream also got copyright. I mean, yeah, I don't really know what that means. It's not good. But yeah, guess as long as you don't delete my channel. I also thought about possibly streaming also on Twitch, but I mean, it's not really a career for me. It's just like trying it out, learning new things. Now let's see. The manual recommends. I see. Yeah, the manual recommends like rotating it and then doing it like this. Maybe this is easier. Not quite. Okay. Maybe I got the angle wrong, but something like that. Rotate again. Get the another diode. Yeah, I want to finish this tonight. So the next one would be, I think, what part was it? The key sockets. But I think those would be better since those are bigger. So I bike to work, and earlier I thought my bike got stolen. Like there's a designated parking spot for it, and I was there. Instead, I left my bike there, locked it and everything. But yeah, I thought I lost my bike. Huh? Yeah, I thought I lost my bike. Then I remembered I had parked it at a different area today. Because I went to work earlier than usual. So I parked my bike a little farther. I just have a bit more walk. Yeah, I think I just got lucky with the other one. Yeah. This is just okay. There you go. So bad. Hmm? Yeah, sometimes when I bike. So of course the shortest route to work is almost no, I wouldn't say dangerous, but I guess relatively dangerous. Yeah, of course it depends on the people, but sometimes the trucks or vans that pass by, and sometimes like SUVs too. They kind of drive really close. I mean, yeah, sure, it is a road and I'm kind of obstructing them, but whoosh. I think I melted that again. And I'll test the diodes before I move through the other parts maybe. Yeah, sometimes I drive real close. But I think as long as you stay in your lane and don't swerve around, it really is no problem. Like, of course, they'd want to overtake you. You're not as fast as a car. But yeah, I think if you're a truck, she should be giving like a wide berth to cyclists, regardless if they're on the road or not. It's just that if it's a truck, something went wrong. It'll really go wrong. If it was a car, things can go wrong with like any vehicle, right? But the worst case, if it's a truck, it's really bad compared to a car, say, for example. Right? Broken bones, sure. Probably bruised. But if it was a truck, the best case would be broken bones. But yeah. Well, when I started working, I've always thought, like, how do these other people afford not to work? Like, how can they just be walking around? Of course, I was just like so young back then. Naive. Never considered work shifts. Like, I did think, could it be all of them are rich people that don't need to be clocking in, but sometimes I still think that way, but more specific. Like, I wonder what this guy does. Like earlier on my way to work, I saw a guy riding a top down. It wasn't a Miata, but it was a compact car. I couldn't really tell what it was. Maybe it was a Lotus. I have seen a dealership around nearby. I'm not sure, but it was kind of unique looking. I don't think it was a sports car or like a supercar or anything like that. But yeah, could have been a Lotus. but it was too fast. But I did wonder at that moment. Well, I wonder what this guy does. Oh yeah, there was. I wonder if that guy still going, like that guy that goes up to people in fancy cars and asks what they do. Yeah, I wonder if that guy's still around and still doing that. Ugh. Yeah, just taking a break. Oh, it's almost been an hour. Hmm. Yeah, being bent over such a small board is tiring. Hmm. Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, just going back to the wondering what people do whenever I see them walking around. Some of them are obviously like homemakers, housewives. Like they go to the park, see them pushing around their what do you call that? Baby strollers, prams. And they wouldn't want to be cooped up in just their houses. I wouldn't mind, I guess. But then, yeah, going outside is good for the baby or the kid. Those make sense. But other people, I mean, the old people also make sense, right? They're retired. They're just like stretching their muscles and just enjoying the rest of their time, right? Yeah, I actually have this one coworker. He's a bit worried about his retirement. I guess actually I should be worried about mine too, although it's so far off. But, you know, just being prepared early is never bad, especially for something like this. But, yeah, my coworker is worried. So, I guess he's not that late, but I think he's around 55 and he wants to start his own business so that he can retire comfortably. I wonder. I'm sure he's a good guy, smart guy. And I wish him the best. But I wouldn't be gambling my nest egg at that age, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I don't really know his whole situation, but it would be admirable if he was younger. Now that, I mean, I guess it's even more admirable now that he's old, but he's still trying to make it. Yeah. Mm. I don't know what I do. And right now I'm just living paycheck to paycheck. Well, not really, of course, but you know, just enough. It's a good one. Hmm. Yeah, I should check what the anode and the cathode part is. The manual doesn't say really, just says align the line to the dot and you should be good. I guess it, making it simple for stupid people like me is the best way. Hmm. I've also been thinking, right? Yeah, I did mention that I bike to work, but I've been able to avoid going to work when there was rain. But now I think I won't be able to. Yeah. So I'm thinking if I should just take public transportation if it's raining. But and it's I don't know. I like biking to work even if it takes a bit longer. It doesn't, but sometimes it's even faster. And you know, if you're taking a bus, you have to follow the timetables. Or the train, you have to follow the schedule. But if you just take your bike, you're basically on your own time. And it's going to depend on you how fast you get there. Hmm. Yeah. I wonder, like, I would say, like, I'm an average cyclist, right? I'm just a commuter. And sometimes, if I take that fast route, some cyclists, like, they have like the full kit on. They have like this fancy looking bike. They have those cycling shorts and the tight shirts and the I'm actually not sure what you call it, clip on shoes, something like that. Yeah, yeah. I get passed by those guys, and I wonder, for an average cyclist like me, would using a bike like that make a difference? Hmm. I think having a bike, a nice bike, would make a difference if you're like biking for more than 30 kilometers. But I don't. It's a lot less. Yeah, I think I went somewhere, like to the shop, to buy this keyboard. It took me like uh, an hour to get there on a bike. I mean, if I took the train, it would have been roughly the same. Yeah, I think it was like 55 minutes if I took a train. So yeah, 10 minutes on a bike plus 10 minutes. That's not too bad. And I got to like explore the city. Because it wasn't really a place I would visit often. I've been to the area a few times. I've never seen the shop, but yeah, explore would be a strong word. Pass by the area would be more accurate. Maybe ate dinner there a few times, but I mean, I don't think I've even explored my neighborhood that much. Staying inside is just a lot better than going outside. See. Hmm. Not bad, I think. The rate seems to be, the rate I'm doing this in seems to be roughly the same as last time. It's been an hour, and I think I'm halfway done. So, pretty sure. Yeah. And that's clean. A little bit. Ah. Yeah, I should have bought the multimeter first. No, like before, earlier. I just didn't think I would be this frustrated, not knowing if my soldering is quite right, like if I'm breaking the diodes or not. And it would be frustrating even, did I wrecked half the diodes? Maybe. Well, I think it's fine. Based on the description of these types of diodes, they are high temperature resistant. That's what the shop page said, so hopefully they actually are. Right, more diodes. How many do I need actually? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Ooh, 20 more diodes to go. Let's see. This looks more than 20, right? I was also rereading one of the books I read like a long time ago. One of my favorite books. And when I got to like a specific part, I remembered how cringe the next part would be. Not cringe, but how bad the next part would be. Not bad in a like a bad story or something like that, but should I say? Yeah, it was a crazy scene on there. Yeah, I guess it wouldn't be so bad. I was rereading The Player of Games by Ian M. Banks. It's one of the earlier culture novels. Some people say you should be reading that first if you want to get into the culture. But I didn't. I read the Consider Plebis. Consider Plebis? Plebis was it? Plebius? Basically, yeah. That was supposed to be the first book chronologically. No, it was the first book chronologically. They consider Plebis. Now I'm bothered by it. Yeah, Plebis. I mean, it's derived from plebeian or pleb, but oh, I guess this is the last one. Consider Plebis. That's the first book chronologically. I mean, they're not really connected to culture novels, but the Player of Games is a good introductory one. The Consider Plebis one is a bit. Actually, I enjoyed that book too. So, yeah, yeah, Player of Games is a lot better, I think, for an introductory book to the culture. It'd be more light, I would say. But yeah, there was a scene early on the book where a guy gets blackmailed, but it was set up like I guess that, yeah, it was set up in such a way that it was obvious that's where it was gonna go, but the guy was just, yeah, I mean, the idea is they live in a utopian society, right? Well, of course, yeah. The idea is that they live in a utopian society, and the guy didn't even consider the possibility of possible blackmail. Of course, it gets explained. Like, it's a sci-fi book, right? So, the same way that uh, technology these days, it's easy to fake things. And it was explained away that way that the guy didn't even consider it because he can just wave it off and say it was all fake. Consider it, well, I mean, it's not really a new idea, but when was this published? 1988. Player of Games, right? Yeah. 1988. Wow. Yeah, sci-fi authors really live like in the future. Yeah, even if you consider like some things like the Foundation, maybe there are better ones to oh no, it's not, it wasn't Foundation, it was one of the robot it was one of the robot books. Forgot which one. But it was definitely video calling. Yeah, but yeah, it was like really, really old. Ah, it was I Isaac Asimov, but I can't remember which robot book it was. Oh, but I only read the novels, not really the short stories. (1972). Yeah, I think it was the 1972 one, or is it The Naked Sun? Hmm. Oh no, no, it was the other one. It's The Naked Sun, yeah. Yeah. So like it was people that lived far away from each other, and the way they socialized was via robots and video calling, basically. Of course, it's a bit more nuanced than just video calling, I think. But that was basically it, 1970s, and he was already visual. Asimov was already imagining video calls. Of course, maybe some other authors have already done it, but I've not read all authors, right? But Asimov is one of the more famous ones. Sure. Yeah, I think there's a Foundation series on Apple TV these days. I think I watched a few episodes or the first season, and I didn't really. I didn't. It didn't really click, or like I don't know, like my imagination of what happened doesn't quite fit what was happening on screen. Not even close, I think. I can't remember if they actually strayed away from the original story, but it was a bit weird. Like there was a clone of some sort. of the, I forgot who the math guy was, but did it make sense? Or I didn't like it, at least. So, yeah, I can just read it again. But yeah, the foundation books really are a bit different. It's not the usual style I'm used to. Actually, in all the culture books, the oh, shoot! What am I doing? In the culture books, the one I liked the most was Accession, and I guess also no, I think Accession and other books were there, but Accession comes to mind first. Hmm. 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 Yeah, maybe it is time to reread the culture novels. I can't even remember what the other books were about, except Accession, Matter. Look to Windward was something too, but there were other books. Use of Weapons. That was, I think that was the weird one. Hmm? What was I soldering? I think all of it is in. It's just yeah. The next one. I mean, after I read like the culture, right? Some of the books weren't out yet, but I got into the military sci-fi stuff. I forgot what was it. Yeah, like the John Scalzi ones, the Ghost Brigades. That was something too. But I think the most after the culture, I got into Peter F. Hamilton, the ones with the. Actually, I forgot what the book was called. Let me look it up. But it was Peter F. Hamilton for sure. Yeah. Judas Unchained, Pandora Star. Those books. It was a series, yeah. Mm, mm. Those books. Yeah, but the Player of Games, yeah, it was a good. story and a good introduction to the culture universe. I forgot there was this one weird um there was this one weird novel too. Might have been the last one. But it was about the afterlife. So in the culture or in that universe, when you reach a certain technological level, you're able to replicate a person's mind, essentially a copy of them. So the way the culture works is, or some of it, or how some of it works, is that some people like back themselves up. I guess most people there back themselves up because they have this brain implant thing. But basically, they have this implant, right? And then they send periodic backups, or like before they do something that they could die from, they back up their memories, their brain basically. And in that universe, it's treated as if you're resurrected with just a few memories missing. But yeah. And the premise of one of the stories was the afterlife of those people, where some people or some societies, they have hell, essentially eternal suffering for some people. And that was so the argument there was to develop this technology just to torture memories or quote unquote people, because they consider the memories as essentially the people, right? And it was a story, well, one part of it was the rebellion of some people wanting to dismantle all the hells, essentially, because they were all virtual, right? They wanted to dismantle all the virtual hells. So they dove into one or something like that. So they copied themselves into it. And one of them got out. Like at the end, by the end of it, there were two people. One of them, like, can't remember all the details to it, but yeah, like the original copy of one of them kind of just disavowed disavowed the effort or something, maybe. But yeah, I mean that's basically the whole premise, right? If you were that advanced, why would you do that to your people? Dead people, technically. Just for fun. So basically, I think that was Ian M. Banks kind of addressing how he felt about death, because I think at that time he was he knew he was dying. I think he died of cancer or something like that. Oh shoot! I think I burnt the diode again. Ugh. Yeah, there's a special smell to the burning diode. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, that hell story was weird. It's like the Matrix story too, because the people in hell don't really know that they're in hell. Because okay, kind of remember parts of it. Like there were two people that got sent to hell, right? They sent their copies into hell, and one of them kind of gave up. And they were lovers, like the two of them that went to hell. One of them kind of, the ones in hell, the copy in hell, kind of gave up and just languished in their suffering. But yeah, the other one kept pushing, pushing until he was able to escape. Not really escape, kind of escape from the hell. But yeah, it's also kind of like a critique on the modern idea of hell. Why would you torture people? Of course, this is just my personal thing. Like hell was just how they tried to enforce the laws or authority back then. But you never know. I might burn in hell someday. But yeah, I think the concept is just sad. Like I had a conversation like years and years ago. Like I wasn't super religious back then, but this person was. They weren't really trying to convert me, it was just a conversation. Somehow it went to the concept of hell. And basically, they think it's just the absence of of God. But then, what does that mean? And that's what they had said. Maybe I'm missing something. But they had said they think hell is not a burning and suffering type of situation, but just an absence of God. But then, okay, what does an absence of God mean? Some would consider our reality right now to be an absence of God. War, immorality, then who dictates morality? The majority? So yeah, kind of now that I think about it, because I think before I just kind of nodded, I see just an absence of God. I think they added on to that, like there wouldn't be love, but then love wouldn't come from God, right? It would come from the individual. So yeah, I guess it just sounds good. But when you kind of think a bit more about it, kind of doesn't make sense. And personally, when I die, I don't want that to be the end. But that's just my preference, right? Eternal suffering? Eternal pleasure? I don't know. Something else. I hope. Just annihilation or oblivion just seems pointless. Scary. You know, maybe if I was doing this, like, without streaming, my thoughts wouldn't be wandering too much. Or maybe it would be wandering too much. Like a lot more. I was just doing it without streaming. But there's also a series of books, The Expanse, yeah. I think I started reading it when there were just 2 books. It's pretty good. And then the wormholes happen. And, well, I think, you know, kind of stopped there. Not that the wormhole idea was bad, it's just it's like they ran out of ideas. And just went with wormholes. But then, yeah, I mean, I think I've read other of, I think that's James Corey, right? I think I like his other books, his other series, maybe. But definitely, I definitely liked The Expanse. And when it came to TV, it was pretty good. Didn't like the actors, but I think they did it well. I don't remember why I kind of stopped, besides it being wormholes. I think I tried getting into fantasy after that, and I discovered Mistborn. And I went down that whole rabbit hole. forgot who the author was, but he had a lot of books. Really good books, really good fantasy books, like the best fantasy books, I think. Brandon Sanderson. Yeah. All his books that I've read were good. Oh. Maybe I should check up on those old authors, or like check up what sci-fi or fantasy or what have you is good these days. I'd have to check what I last read, like what modern book I read recently. Because the books I've been reading are all like old. Oh, I like the Murderbot one and the Bobbyverse one. The Murderbot one, I reread it recently because they're making a series about it. But I had read it way before that. Even while I was continuing like the older, there were only 2 books out, I think 2 or 3. Basically, it was ongoing. Oh, Bobbyverse was funny. What other? Yeah, I don't think I have any modern books. Like old sci-fi, old fantasy. Well, relatively old, right? Some of them are still recent, but a lot of the good ones started like early 2000s or late 90s. Well, Mistborn was 2014. Or at least this omnibus that I read was 2014. Yeah, let's see, what new book is there? Oh, I actually have the book that was that won a Hugo, but I wasn't able to read it yet. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, it's almost 2 hours. Well, I'm almost done. 5 more diodes. So yeah, almost like yesterday's pace. Next one. Yeah, 5 more to go. Did I miss anything? Good, there's quite a bit of extra. Around 11 extra diodes, just good if it is extra. I think they would have, the manual would have told me to attach it. Early, like right now, rather than later. Well, I don't know. It's my first keyboard. Oh god. Did I scrape it off? What? Okay. Yep. Yeah, I think I'm using a bit more solar this time. Hmm, it's not bad. Yeah, I hope these diodes are very durable. I hope. Some of them are a little melted. There's a bit more than the previous one. Just remembered Blade Runner. Huh? And I had mentioned it to a friend, like I was watching Blade Runner. Like this was years ago. Like I mentioned to him, oh, recent movie. I don't know. We just started talking about movies and stuff. He shared, and I shared with them that I was watching the Blade Runner movie. But it was a slow movie, but I liked the concept of it. But it was a painful watch because it was so slow. I mean, it's an old sci-fi movie. They weren't really that flashy back then. But I mean, at that point, I had already finished it, I think. And I was so surprised that the guy suddenly bust out the ending monologue. Like the Tears in the Rain monologue. Like, I recognized it, but I wasn't sure how accurate he was. And I think it was pretty accurate. Got all the beats right. And it is one of the more iconic monologues in sci-fi movies. It just didn't make sense to me. Not that it didn't make sense, but like in the context of the movie, they never discussed it. Like, they mentioned that they were that type of thing. Clone? Robot? Forgot. Replicant, there you go. Just trying to remember the term they used. Yeah, it was replicant. Yeah. So I'm just checking. I'm just checking if like all the soldiers are good. And it doesn't look good, but it's connected. Casing is a bit melted, but the context should be good. Anyway, yeah, he busted out the monologues while we were eating wings, chicken wings. And apparently, it was one of his favorite movies. And he was so hyped that I watched it. And the new one, it's so weird. I think it was. Okay, the contacts look good. The melted parts don't look so bad compared to the other one. Yeah, it's all aligned. Ugh, tiring. 2 hours. Whoa. And the next step is the key sockets. So these are the key sockets. Okay, so the idea is basically the same. Solder one part. Solder the pad to the socket as shown. If you apply a tip with a little solder on it from the side of the terminal and hold the socket, solder will melt and the socket will sink. Wait a minute. What? Diodes. Okay. Did I skip a step? Or is it just... No. I'm just looking at the image. And they had already soldered some other parts on it. Like, what's this? They had already soldered. What? Am I missing some parts? No. What is that part? What are those LED lights? Don't I get LEDs? Doesn't seem to be LED. Yeah, I've been calling the diodes LEDs, but LD, it's just these. Just diodes. Yeah, these look like LEDs, I think. One, two, three, four. Oh no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no. What's that? What is that? Okay, yeah, those are LEDs. Should I get LEDs? I don't have to. It's already there. Yeah, maybe I should order LEDs. What would be a good color? I mean, could, no. Yeah, let's skip the LEDs. Yeah, I never liked LEDs in my keyboard anyway. Yeah, I'm just looking at the manual. Yeah, maybe next time I should include it in the stream, like looking at the manual. But yeah, I thought I had missed like a step because in the picture they had LEDs already on it, but yeah. Okay. I have low profile stuff too. I think. Those are key caps. Or what are these? Okay. Oh, there you go. I think these are 1, 2, 3, 5. Yeah. Low profile keycaps. Or low profile what? Mm-hmm. 63 of these are soldered on the left and right sides together. PCB socket for the thumb keys can be just either a cherry mix compatible socket or low probe socket. In this photo, both are attached. Where? Are these the low profile stuff? Oh no. It's keycaps. No. It's not the sockets, it's the clickety clicks. I wonder if I have those in the set. I'd have to identify which are the low profile ones. Or are they all just they all look the same? I have no idea. And I think that should be it for now. And I'll do these stuff tomorrow. Hopefully, it doesn't take 2 hours for each board. I'll just put these here. I think it's fine to end that there. I'll figure out other stuff tomorrow. Like maybe I can share the manual. Yeah. Yeah. Starting to get sleepy. Yeah, I guess that's it for now. What was that?